fine. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Shrine is something in Dead by Daylight that resets every 7 days. This being said, you can see there are 4 perks on the Shrine. Now, these could be perks from any killer, any survivor in the game. This is really good in case you don't want to purchase the DLCs. Now, if you do already currently own a perk, don't fear. You have these things called iridescent shards, and they can be used on this, as well as getting a amount of blood points rather than earning them in-game. Looking at this right now, guys, we have Adrenaline. Adrenaline is one of the top tier perks. It is almost always used at rank 1. It allows you to heal one state, as well as get 150% movement speed for 5 seconds when it comes to exit gates being powered. Now, the brilliant thing that makes Adrenaline such a powerful perk is if you're on the hook and you get hook saved, Adrenaline kicks in, you get full health, and you get a run at 150% movement speed for 5 seconds. This also being said, if you have to dead hard the killer, balance lining the killer, and you're on exhaustion cooldown, it still heals you and uses the movement speed from dead hard. Very powerful perk. It is a meg perk unlocked at level 40. Moving on to the next perk, guys, we're looking at Agitation. Now, this, in my opinion, is one of the hidden gem perks in the game. A lot of people think Agitation is a bad perk, but let's just think for a second. Realistically, you have to hook people 3 times. That's travel time in between. So you've got 4 survivors, you've got 3, 6, 9, 12. You've got 12 different times that you're going to have to hook somebody, and then travel time to the hooks. Keep in mind, Agitation is going to allow you to pick someone up, get them to the hook, and if you're stacking it with barbecue and chili, you're going to get situational awareness on the Billy or on the nurse or on anyone who can move around really quick a lot faster and then be able to go. Don't be fooled. Agitation can also be used on someone like the Trapper to allow for more prep time. Personally, if I was going for prep time on the I can't even talk. If I was going for prep time on the Trapper chat, I would be going for something along the lines of Sloppy Butcher to slow down healing. That's going to give me about it's about 32 seconds to heal, about 40 with Sloppy Butcher. So it's going to give me, that's with self-care, by the way, you know, half the numbers if they're using a medkit, and then the enhancements, etc. That's going to give me a good 40 seconds of prep time, allowing me to keep pressure out. It's also going to allow me to split pressure on multiple targets without feeling like they're just getting really good body blocks out in the way. Agitation is very good in terms of you can either run, in my personal opinion, the opposite to Agitation is Knockout. Now, a lot of people undermine how powerful Knockout is. I mean, sure, nobody likes getting slugged, but at the same time, the reason Knockout is such a powerful perk is because it removes the ability to know when the killer is actually physically picking someone up, so you can't run in for that cheeky save. Agitation will allow you to get them to the hook and do that in time. Another quick point with Agitation as well, guys, is with Agitation, if I'm taking someone to the hook and somebody body blocks, I can hit them. Remember, it says 6%, so it goes 6, 12, and 18% depending on what tier it is. Now, if I hit somebody under the hook, sometimes they do a cheeky 360 and then dead hard past you. With this, you're going to be moving 18% quicker. All killers move at the same movement speed while traveling with the survivor, meaning the nurse, instead of moving at 96.5%, she'll be moving at the same movement speed as a Trapper. He will be coming down from 115%, with an additional 18%, obviously, from Agitation. It's very good. I used to run it on the nurse quite often with Devour Hope, Agitation, Pop Goes the Weasel, and Make Your Choice. Recently, my nurse build has quite frankly changed to Surveillance, Pop Goes Weasel, Barbecue, and Distortance, but also a really good perk to look at. So right now, you're looking at 2 really fantastic perks here at the start. Moving on to the third perk, Bamboozled. Now, let me tell you something about Bamboozled. First of all, Tier 1 is 5%, Tier 2 is 10%, Tier 3 is 15%, and it also increases the window seal time to, I believe, 18 seconds. It's a very powerful perk. This can counter loops on the shack instantly, but there's one problem with Bamboozled. It stacks with Michael Myers, getting an additional 10% benefit while in Tier 3 alongside Longer Lunge. He can go through windows real quick. There are also add-ons you can be using on the Wraith to allow him to vault faster and break pallets quicker. It also stacks with those kind of things as well. But the thing to keep in mind about Bamboozled is you're really risking it in terms of you are trying to use a perk that could help you a lot. It could cut off windows that are really long loops, don't get me wrong. At the same time, Bamboozled's really easy to read for a good survivor. A lot of killers always steal the window at loops, and a good survivor will run to the corner, wait for the killer to start the steal animation, and then sprint off in a completely different direction, losing Bloodlust, getting out of the 8 meters, and resetting the 15-second timer for the Bloodlust. Keep this in mind. It can work really well, but running this perk is a map-dependent perk. There are a couple of maps that are really good with Bamboozled, but there's a couple that aren't. It's not really great on Rotten Fields. It's not really great on Sheltered Woods. It's not really great on the game. I mean, there's a lot of windows in Lyri's Institute, but I wouldn't say it's good on Lyri's either because, you know, you can only seal one window, and there are a lot of areas where if they seal that window, you can just go right round and then jump through a different window and force them to seal and alternate, just like in Michael Myers' house. On Hattonfield, you can do the window loops upstairs, especially if you have balanced landing. It's a good perk, don't get me wrong, but it is map dependent, which hurts. Against good survivors, you're going to force the pallet down early. Bamboozled is best paired, in my opinion, with Enduring. Respect no pallets and just go straight through. You're going to get stunned, and it's going to be a very quick stun, and you can break the pallet rather than, you know, sidestepping, hoping to get the brutal strength kick while the survivor just runs another loop. It's going to save a lot of time, and time is really precious at rank 1. Right, moving on to the next perk, it is Up the Ante. Now, Up the Ante increases your luck, not to be mistaken for chances of finding better things in chests. I will repeat, it does not increase your chance of finding better things in the chest. Now, what does luck do? That is a good question. There are there is an offering, for example, like the Salty Lips, which considerably increases luck. Now, this being said, luck increases your chance to Kobe off the hook or jump off the hook. So does Slippery Meat, don't get me wrong. It also increases your chance to be freed from bear traps. Now, I'm not sure if there's too many other things that luck affects, but I personally would not recommend getting this perk. Ace doesn't have very good teachable perks. He is open-handed, he is Up the Ante, and he does have one add-on, it does have one item, which is words chat. It does have one perk, which is pretty good in terms of looting. If you're going to be running Pharmacy for a green medkit, and you're going to be running Ace in the Hole, to have a 100% chance of finding an item, and then a 50% chance to finding another add-on to the item, so you get two add-ons, which is good. That's going to complete it all for the shrine this week, guys. Just having a look, though, you can see it's actually a pretty decent shrine. I'm not going to say it's the best. There's no barbecue and chili, you know, but it's a pretty damn good shrine. You have good options if you're a killer main. In terms of survivors, I don't think this is your week.